So today we're going to look at doing some heart. Hi Penny, how you going? We're going to do some heart and shoulder opening and a little bit of hip opening and some balancing work today. So just taking a few deep breaths and coming into your space. Thank you both for being here today. So you're here for yourself and for each other in our loving yoga community. Let's begin going into a child's pose. So bring your sit bones down to your heels, taking your knees nice and wide and walking your hands forward and bringing your head down to the mat. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Coming into your space. Noticing the ground beneath you. Noticing the earth beneath your legs and supporting you through your feet and your arms and your hands. Noticing your breath. And scanning through your body. Exhaling into any areas of tightness. And noticing your mind. Exhaling into any busy thoughts and leaving the busyness of your morning behind. Taking 3 more deep breaths here, relaxing into the ground, letting the earth support you in your practice. And then coming into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra. It's the shape of a lotus bud and about the size of the inside of your heart. Softening through your eyes. I'm going to begin the practice with Om to bring us together in this beautiful space. We'll start with a deep breath in and then a big breath out. And breathing in again. Om. Remembering as you move through your practice today, noticing your body, you can rest at any time. Do only what your body feels right with today. You're the best judge and our body is different each time. So we come into a cat-cow with our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. Noticing the ground underneath our hands and our knees. We're going to inhale and lift through our chest. And exhale, arching our back up like a bridge. And then inhaling, lifting through the chest, lifting our gaze. And exhaling, bringing our back up into an arch and looking through our legs, through to our feet. And continue on for 4 or 5 more breaths as we warm up our spine. We're going to come into a alternate arm and leg lift. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift and lengthen our left leg and our right arm, extending through the foot and the hand. And then we're going to exhale and bring our knee and our elbow towards each other like a tiger curl. And then inhale, stretching out. I'm going to continue on with 3 more on this side. Keeping our back nice and flat. And then bringing that knee and hand down to the ground. And our next inhalation, we're going to lift through the right leg, left hand. And then tiger curl in on the exhalation, bringing the elbow towards the knee. And 1 more. And then coming back to our first side, and we're going to go into a little bit of a further stretch. So we're going to lift our left knee and our right hand, and we're going to reach back, and we're going to hold on to that foot. So we're going to be balancing here, lengthening through the foot, reaching back to the hand. If that doesn't work, you can just have the foot up in the air. That's it. So as you reach, lifting through the chest, we're going to stay here for 2 more breaths, stretching out, lifting the heart, opening through the chest. And then we're going to release that, bringing the knee and the hand to earth. And we're going to move to the other side. So you can either just lift up through your knee, coming into this position, or you can balance through and reach back and hold on to your foot and lift that through. Staying here for 3 breaths. Opening through the heart, stretching through the shoulders. And then bring the knee back down to earth and bringing your sit bones back to your heels, coming back into child's pose and resting there. Rest here for a couple of breaths, stretching and lengthening through the back. And then bringing your hands back and tucking the toes. And we're going to go up into our first downward dog. So spreading your hands and pushing the earth away with your hands as you bring your hips up towards the ceiling. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths, bringing our heels down to earth, stretching through the back of our legs. And then we're going to go into a 3-legged dog. So we're going to lift up through our left leg. And we're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Noticing it's quite a strong pose through the shoulders. And then bending the left knee and bringing the foot across to the side into scorpion. We're going to hold here for 2 more breaths. And then gently bringing that foot back down to earth and coming back into child's pose to rest. And then coming back onto all fours, tucking our toes under, spreading our hands, pushing away the earth with our hands and lifting our knees up into downward dog.
And we're going to be here for 5 breaths again, paddling our hips from side to side and bringing our heels down towards the mat. Two more breaths here, and then we're going to lift the right leg up into three-legged dog. That's it. So lengthening through the foot, pointing the toes towards the ground, and then bending the right knee, bringing the right foot across towards the left side into scorpion. One more breath here, and then gently bringing the right foot back down to earth. Bring your knees back down to the mat and come into child's pose. Just resting here. And then coming up onto your knees, so standing on your knees. And we're going to take our right foot forward into a half crescent lunge and bring our hands up, lifting our chest, lifting our gaze. For 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to lengthen our arms out. So right hand forward, left hand back. And then we're going to tilt our left hand down towards our left foot, looking up towards the ceiling, feeling that nice stretch through the front of the left thigh and hip, gazing up towards your hand. And then bring the hands back out, side to side, and then down to the mat. Then we're going to tuck our toe under and lift up through that left foot. Having your right hand down at your right foot. If you have a block, you can put your hand on the block. If you don't, that's okay. And we're going to inhale and lift that left hand all the way up to the sky and straighten out through our right leg into a twisted triangle pose. Nice. So looking up towards that left hand. I'm going to stay here for 2 more breaths. And then gently bring the left hand down to frame that front foot. And then stepping forward into forward fold, tucking your fingers down underneath your toes, giving that a nice stretch through the forward bend. And then coming back down into a standing on your knees. And we're going to go to the other side this time. So this time we're going to take our left foot forward. So you've got your left knee bent, stacked on top of your left ankle. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up, lift our chest and lift our gaze, tuck our bottom forward. Taking a couple of breaths here. Then we're going to take our right hand back and our left hand forward. Keeping our gaze on our left hand as we lift the left hand and take the right hand down towards the right foot. Feeling that stretch through the right quad and hip. And then bringing our hands back to center again and taking both hands forward, tucking your toe under and coming up into a lunge position. Now at this point, if you have a block, you can put it next to your left ankle. If you don't, you can have your hand on your ankle on the left side or down on the floor. And you're going to place your right heel on the ground, looking at your right hand, taking that right hand up to the sky into a twisted triangle pose. And we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths, noticing that stretch through the back of the left leg. And then bringing our hand down, framing our front foot, stepping forward with the right leg so you're in a forward fold. And forward fold, pop your hands underneath your toes or on your ankles. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Feeling that nice stretch through the back of the legs and the lower back. And then one more breath here, and then we're going to inhale and come up to standing position, to mountain pose. And bringing our hands back to Anjali Mudra. Good. Okay, give your legs a little bit of a shake here. We're going to step into a crescent lunge. So we're going to take our left foot out to the side slightly and step forward with the right leg. I'll just go side on so you can see. So the left foot is turned out a little bit, right knee is bent. So we're going to inhale and lift our hands up, lifting our gaze and lifting our chest. And then we're going to go into a forward bend with our arms out towards the side, like an aeroplane. And bring our weight forward onto that right foot with the left toes on the mat. Now at this point, you can play with taking the left foot off the mat and coming into a full aeroplane. Or if you find that a little bit challenging, you can pop your toe back to the ground. So we're going to stay here for 5 breaths, finding a gaze point just in front of the mat. That's it. Toes pointing down towards the ground. Good. And then bringing that left foot down and coming up, bringing the arms up and then stepping your feet together. Give them a little shake. And then we're going to go to the other side. So you might find you've got better balance on one side than the other. So this time we're going to take the right foot out to the side and step forward with the left foot. So we're going to bend that left knee. We're going to inhale, lift our arms all the way up to the sky. Then we're going to fold forward and bring our arms to our sides like an aeroplane and move the weight of your body onto that left foot, spreading the toes and getting yourself nicely grounded. Now at this point, if you are feeling comfortable, you can take your right toe off the mat into a full aeroplane. So the toes, right toes pointing down towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. Just play with it. And then slowly lowering that toe back down to the mat. And then coming up into standing position, give your legs a little shake. Well done. We'll continue on with a little bit more balancing here. So this time we're going to spread out through our toes on our right foot. And we're going to bring our left foot forward. And we're going to go into a tree pose. So you can either have your foot at your calf or you can bring it up a little higher. Finding your gaze point. And you can have your hands out in Anjali Mudra. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then gradually
letting your left foot come back down to the mat. Give your right foot a little shake. And then we're going to spread our toes out on our left side. And bring our right foot up either to our calf or above our knee, whichever one feels right for you. Find your gazing point. And then bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra. And we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And 1 more breath. And then bring that foot down towards the mat. Give it a little shake out. Okay. In our standing position, let's inhale, bring our arms all the way up. And we're going to exhale and bring our hands to one side. Nice stretch through the right side. And inhale back to center. And stretching to the other side. Let's go a couple more on each side. And then bring our hands back to Anjali Mudra. So next one, we're going to do a couple of rounds of our sun salute. So I'm going to go side on so that you can see a little better. So moving towards the front of your mat. So you can join me right from the start because you should be quite familiar with this now. We're going to inhale, lift our arms all the way up to the sky into mountain pose. And we're going to exhale and fold forward into Uttanasana. And then we're going to inhale, lift and lengthen our spine. And then exhale, stepping back into either a high plank or a low plank. And then bringing your elbows towards your side, slowly lowering down to the mat. And lifting through the chest as you inhale into an upward dog. And then tucking your toes under and bringing your hips up to the sky into a downward dog. Then we're going to raise our gaze towards our hands and step forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen our spine. Exhale, bring our chest towards our legs in Uttanasana. Then inhale, bring our hands all the way back up to the sky and hands back to Anjali Mudra. Let's do 2 more rounds together. So inhale, lifting our hands. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift our spine and lengthen. Exhale, bringing our chest towards our legs. And then stepping back into high plank or low plank. Slowly lowering your body down to the mat. And then inhale, lifting your chest, lifting your gaze into an upward dog, tucking your toes under, bringing your hips up towards the ceiling into downward dog. And then bring your gaze forward towards your hands and step your feet forward and come into Uttanasana, you forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bringing your chest towards your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And hands back to Anjali Mudra. So we've got 1 more round to go. So inhale, lift your arms, stretch and lengthen towards the sky. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, bring your chest towards your legs. And stepping back into high plank. And slowly lowering your body towards the mat with your elbows towards your side. Inhale, lift through your chest. Exhale, tucking your toes under and bringing your hips towards the ceiling into downward dog.
raising your gaze towards your hands, stepping forward into Uttanasana. Lift and lengthen your spine as you inhale, and then exhale, bringing your chest towards your legs, and then inhale, come all the way back up to Anjali Mudra. Nice. Now we're going to come down to a seated position with our legs out in front of us. And we're going to do a forward fold from a seated position this one's called Paschimottanasana. So we're going to inhale, lift our hands, and then exhale, we're going to bring our hands forward and gaze at our toes. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. That's it. So you can hook your hands underneath your toes if you like, and have your gaze at your toes. Now, to just change my position. So staying here for another couple of breaths, just feeling that nice stretch through the back of your legs and through your lower back. Then we're going to move our left hand onto our right foot, and we're going to take our right hand back. So we have a twisted Paschimottanasana, and we're going to look back towards where our right hand is. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And then we're going to bring our right hand forward to our left foot and our left hand back, and looking back, gazing towards our left hand. So feeling that nice stretch. It's good for a little twist and a little stretch through the right side of your shoulder. One more breath here, and then bring both hands forward again. And then we're going to come back and we're going to go into Uttanasana. So we're going to lay on our back and hug our knees to our chest. So this is a counter pose to the forward bends that we've been doing. So hugging our knees to our chest and circling on our lumbar spine. Just giving that lumbar spine a nice massage. And then we're going to take our feet to the ground and bring our heels nice and close to our buttocks. And we're going to lift up into a bridge position. And you can either have your hands on the mat, or you might like to bring them underneath you in a clasp position and walk your shoulders together and lift up nice and tall, squeezing through the buttocks and bringing your chin to your chest. And we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Really squeezing through the buttocks, lifting up through the thighs and squeezing through your shoulder blades. 2 more breaths. And then slowly lowering your spine down towards the mat. And then bringing your arms out to the side and you're feeling nice and close with your legs bent. We're going to drop our knees towards the right and look towards the left. Trying to keep our shoulders close to the mat so we get a nice stretch through our pecs as well. Staying on this side for 2 more breaths. Noticing that nice stretch through the left side of your body. Then inhale, bringing your knees to center. And exhale, dropping your knees towards the left side and looking towards the right. Having your shoulders nice and close to the mat, stretching through the front of the chest. And noticing the nice stretch through the right side of your body. Taking 3 more deep breaths here. And then knees to center. And we're going to raise our legs either into a legs up the wall, or just having your legs straight in the air. You could put a block or a bolster underneath your hips if you like, or you can go up into a half shoulder stand. So lifting up over the position. If you're in a half shoulder stand, having your hands at your hips and bringing your elbows a little closer to support your weight. Just taking some nice deep breaths here, moving your ankles around in a circle, having your legs nice and light. And then bringing your feet over your head into a plow pose. Couple more breaths here. And then as you exhale, slowly bringing your spine back down to the mat. And hugging your knees to your chest. Then we're going to go onto our front. Now with this one, I'll just go silent so you can see. This next pose we're going to do is called locust pose. So you bring your hands underneath your hips. So lifting up through the buttocks, so you've got your hands underneath your hips. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale and we're going to lift up through our legs. So our chest and our head is down towards the mat, but we're lifting up through our legs. So as we do that, we're squeezing our buttocks, and you can feel a little compression at your spine. I'm going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then slowly lowering your feet down towards the mat. And then we're going to bring our hands behind our back and clasp our hands at our back, if you can do that. And we're going to inhale and we're going to lift up. So we're going to leave our feet on the mat this time, but we're going to lift up through our chest and we're going to look forward, stretching through the shoulders. This one's called snake pose. Stay here for 3 breaths. So it's a nice shoulder stretch and heart opening. And then we're going to release that and bring our head down to the mat, bringing our head to one side, releasing our hands. And then we're going to take one hand, our right hand forward, and we're going to bend our right leg and grab hold of the right foot or the right ankle with your left hand. So this is, and as we do that, we're going to, if you can reach back, that's it. If you can't reach back, that's okay, you can just lift up. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift through our chest, pulling back through our foot. One more breath, and then we're going to release it, and then we're going to swap sides. You might find the other side is a little different. So we're going to leave our left hand out the front of our body and take our right hand round and grab hold of our right foot. Oh, you're so close, Penny. And then we're going to inhale, we're going to lift up through our chest and stretch through our quad. One more breath here, and then we're going to release. And then we're going to go into boat pose, where we actually have both hands reaching back to our feet, bringing our feet forward. So just starting on the mat. That's it. You've got it, Penny. And then the other leg. That's it. That's it. And we're going to inhale and lift up through our chest and lift up through our legs. You notice as you do this, when you're breathing, you're rocking backwards and forwards, hence the boat pose, and then letting everything go, releasing your legs, bring your hands underneath your chest, and then we're going to lift up into all fours. And we're going to do a couple of rounds of cat-cow, just releasing through our spine. So inhale, lifting the gaze, lifting through the chest, and exhale, lifting up through the spine into like a bridge. And then coming up into a downward dog, so tucking up your toes and rinsing out through our spine, moving our heels down towards the mat. And then coming down into a seated position, a comfortable seated position. You may be on your buttocks, or you might be kneeling, whichever works for you. And we're going to do a little meditation. So coming into your comfortable seated position, whatever that is, I find just lifting up through my hips a little bit on a block is quite helpful. Okay, so bring your hands towards your knees and softening your gaze. Coming into your breath. We're going to do a little meditation on the tip of our nose. Feeling your body evenly over your sit bones with a tall spine and the crown of your head towards the ceiling. The gentle feeling of sitting upright, being supported beneath you, breathing with ease, softening through the face and the mouth, eyes closed, adjusting your chin to be slightly down. Focusing your attention on the tip of your nose, and it might help to actually touch the tip of your nose to get a feel for the sense of it. And observing your natural breath as you breathe in and out. Making no attempt to manipulate or control your breath. Simply observing your unique breath as it brushes your nose, feeling the breath gently flowing in and flowing out. Following the experience of breathing with your mind, connecting to your breath as it comes in, briefly pauses and goes out again. The breath sustains the life in your body. Without the breath, there is no life. Tuning into the supple sound of your breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. Notice if you inhale, whether you feel it more from the left or the right.
Perhaps it's even. Is your exhale more dominant through one nostril? Or is it even? Avoiding engaging further thoughts, observing with an attitude of detachment. Notice the inhalation and its coolness as it enters through your nostrils. Feel the passage of your breath and observe the exhalation, subtly warm from the letting go of the waste gases. You may be aware of your nostrils gently flashing and flaring as you breathe. Perhaps you have a sense of the nasal hairs moving, filtering the breath. Maintain an attitude of pleasantness and the effort is softly focused, focusing on the tip of your nose. Your attention is like that of a watchman at a city gate, noticing those passing in and those going out. Staying alert at the gate of the nostrils. There's no effort in breathing. Stay tuned to your natural breathing process and the touching point of your breath and your nostrils. Checking that your posture is still supportive and that you have a soft base, your spine is tall, and then returning to your breath focus. If your mind wanders, gently return to the focus of your breath, the feeling of the breath through your nostrils. Sounds and thoughts may arise in the background. In the foreground is moment to moment awareness of the breath, pleasantly coming in and going out. Slowly bringing your attention back to the room. Slowly opening your eyes and then laying back into a Savasana position for your relaxation. Getting into a comfortable, warm position. If you have an eye bag, you may like to put it on your eyes. If you have a blanket, you may like to put it over you so that you keep yourself nice and warm. Noticing the ground beneath you, supporting you as you relax into. Softening your eyes and tuning into your breath. Harvesting the energy from your yoga practice today. We're going to relax here for the next 5 minutes or so, distilling all the energy from your practice into your muscles and your bones, feeding through the cells into your body, restoring its natural balance. Bringing your awareness back into the room, noticing the earth beneath your body, gently stretching your arms out beyond your head, and rolling to one side. Staying there if you want to, or coming into a seated position. Thank you for your beautiful energy today that you've shared with us. Raising your vibration and the vibration of each other, each of us in the group. Take the beautiful energy back to our family and our community and all those all around us. Acknowledging the great work that you do here for yourself in your yoga practice. Let's close the practice with an Om. You may join me if you want. Take a big deep breath in and then let it go. And one more breath in. Om. And bring your hands to your forehead for kind thoughts. And to your lips for kind words. And to your heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Thank you for today. How are you feeling? You might have